I got secondhand embarrassment so bad, I almost quit this drama. Boyfriend on Demand, a K-drama about a virtual dating service where Blackpink's Jisoo gets to date a bunch of good-looking men. I wasn't really intrigued to watch this drama at first, even though it was definitely marketed towards people like me with all these different actors. They definitely were not shy to use them as a marketing tool, but that did not work on me. While the concept sounded interesting with the virtual dating service and being able to date different men and be in different storylines, I think it failed to garner many people's, including mine's, initial interest because it touched on near-future technology that could be interpreted as dystopian, and its focus on the virtual dating service kinda yielded a double-edged sword for them. They marketed this very interesting concept, but in doing so, they failed to advertise the main romance. Just by the trailer, I had no idea what the main romance was about. All I got was that she was using this dating service and getting to be on different dates with all these actors, while there were only a few snippets of the actual male lead. In a bad way, the trailer was actually an accurate representation of the drama. Its focus on the virtual dating service led to a lack of depth in the story, its characters, and its main romance. So today, I want to talk about how the drama's concept was also its demise. So let's get started. In this drama, Jisoo plays Somile, a webtoon producer who barely has any free time in her life, let alone time to date. She gets introduced to this virtual dating service called Boyfriend on Demand that allows her to be in this digital world where she can get matched up with dates and experience different romance stories. Through this, she got to be a hotel employee falling in love with a chaebol, a college student in a relationship with a senior, a flight attendant with an NSI agent, a hospital intern with a senior doctor, a contestant on Singles Inferno, a historical young woman with an enemy, and a love interest of Jay Park. In her real life, Somile has a coworker named Park Kyung-nam, who she does not like because she sees him as a rival and someone who is very blunt and rude. But as we come to see, he's actually very misunderstood. While he might be very stoic, he's actually quite kind and quite bold. We actually find out that he has had a crush on Somile for all this time, and one day he just confesses.
저 피디님 좋아해요.
At the same time, Mile is having a problem with the sim. She realized that the guy she's dating is also dating other people using the sim. And so she allows the sim to create the ideal man for her that's tailored to her and will only exist for her. And it turns out he, named Young-il, has the same face as Kyung-nam. Now she has to grapple with what that all means. That's pretty much the premise. Let's just get right into how the virtual dating service is represented in this drama. As I mentioned, it could be interpreted as dystopian, and to be honest, the drama doesn't really do much to dissuade that if you really think about what is shown. So let's get into it. In this drama, all you have to do to get into this virtual world is put a headpiece on and you'll be transported into this digital realm where there's a digital manager that will choose your next date for you. Quite novel and not scary if it remains in this virtual world, but throughout the show, it creeps more and more into the real world. First of all, with the virtual men that you're dating, you can get real-life calls and real-life text from them. In addition to that, they are able to send you postcards to your actual physical address with a handwritten note by them and a picture that should only actually exist in the VR. Hopefully, I wasn't the only one that found this creepy. And I think what made it worse was that the technology started blurring the lines between what's real and what's not, especially with the virtual men taking on real characteristics that the people dating them start thinking of them as their real boyfriends. Mile starts having this really good connection with one of the virtual guys named Eunho. She has two storylines with him. The first one, she meets him as a college student, and the second time, she meets him 10 years later when they're both working adults. she gets pretty obsessive with him to the point that she gets jealous that he is dating other people using this VR, realizing that the moments that he had with her, he also shares with everybody else. Yes, she realized that the pre-programmed virtual non-existent guy that she's been dating is also dating other users using this sim. She even gets so far to tell other people that she has been cheated on.
바람둥이요.
양다리?
만다리.
And she's not the only person behaving like this. We get to meet Yeonsung, the webtoon artist that Mireille is working with. She gets introduced to Boyfriend on Demand and actually starts convincing people that she has a real boyfriend.
뭐 연말에 약속이라도 있으세요?
야, 내가 저번에 남자친구 있다고 하지 않았니?
When in reality, he's not real. To be honest, blame shouldn't be entirely on the woman because this technology is trying to simulate a real person. And we can see that with the virtual man trying to simulate real emotions and real feelings. When Mireille was spending time with Young-il, she realized that she needed to stop seeing him because every time she saw him, she got reminded of Kyungnam. And she doesn't want to catch feelings for Kyungnam because she's afraid of change and relationships ending. When she was about to end it and basically reject Young-il, he realizes it and tries to make her stay, showing feelings of jealousy and wanting to keep her because he likes her too. With having feelings like jealousy and love, there's no question that they are being portrayed as real people with real emotions, even though they're not real. And that is what really makes this dystopian. Also, not counting the fact that the VR was able to replicate the exact image of a real person without the person knowing. The drama does show the negative side of this VR, starting with its price. I had to Google what the price was in USD, and in USD, the price was $335 per month. I definitely don't have that money to spend on every single month. Besides that, the drama is not shy to show that the VR is trying to hook you in and trying to make you want to spend that money every single month by ending the simulations with good moments that make you want to continue using the service, telling you you can't do something because you don't have the upgraded subscription, and giving you what you want so you don't end your subscription. I'm not the only one getting like Black Mirror vibes, right? Anyways, the last negative side of it that the drama shows, which I thought would be like the main message and theme of the show, was that the drama acknowledges that the VR can't simulate real love.
그리고 원래 한 치 앞을 모르는 상황에서 상대한테 마음을 주는 게 사랑이기도 하고 뭐 사랑이 흉내낸다고 되는 건 아니니까.
A drama about a virtual dating simulator that ends up showing that you cannot find real love and real human connection in something that is not real, and that while dating non-existent people might be safe and comfortable, the change and challenges of real relationships should be something we are after, because that's what makes life and love fulfilling. This premise would have been great, a story full of depth and meaning, if it was actually achieved in this drama, but it wasn't. To have this kind of messaging, the drama should have taken a firm negative stance on the VR, but instead they almost praise it or at least take an ambiguous stance on it, resulting in a messaging that is unclear and a surface level story, which is the first problem of this concept in this drama. There are negative sides to the VR that the drama shows, which I just mentioned. But when I thought they're gonna leave it at that, they kind of spin it around at the end. Yeonsung, the webtoon artist that is also using Boyfriend on Demand, gets kind of into a scandal where it was found out that she copied a storyline of the VR into her newest chapter in her webtoon. She got a lot of backlash to the point that she almost sold the device. At this point, I'm like, yeah, this drama just showed that the VR can have negative consequences in real life and can cause harm. So it makes sense that she would want to get rid of the device at the end. It would also go really well with the messaging of being like, while the VR is fun, it's not fulfilling and can actually affect you in real life. But as she was about to sell it, which I thought she really was going to do, she doesn't, which had me really confused on what this drama was trying to get at with this. Yeonsung ends up going back to the sim and being convinced that she shouldn't give up this relationship that she has with this virtual guy. So the show is saying that we should pursue real human connection and real human relationships, as Mireille does end up with Kyungnam at the end, as she realizes that she should live in the present and not think about relationships ending. But at the same time, with this Yeonsung storyline, the drama is also showing that VR connections are good, even though she got repercussions from using it. Talking about Mireille and Kyungnam though, they kind of face a relationship problem at the end because Kyungnam finds out about Youngil. With that, he starts questioning why Mireille likes him in the first place. And to win him back, Mireille seeks the help of Youngil. The more I think about it, the weirder it gets, of her asking the ideal man that she created, that is not real, for help with her real relationship. So again, the drama is saying VR connections are good. Anyways, with these outcomes, the drama ends up shedding a positive light on the VR, convoluting the messaging and theme of the show. Its failure to take a firm stance on the VR led to the drama making absolutely no meaningful commentary on anything, which is why the drama felt so shallow and surface level. It lacked depth in the story, and not surprisingly, it extended to its characters as well, especially the character of Kyungnam. I feel like we barely got to know the male lead of this K-drama, Park Kyung-nam. And I think the blame goes to the focus put on the virtual dating service. We got to know him first as the workplace enemy of Mireille. And through Mireille, we get to see him as someone who gives unsolicited advice,
그걸로 안 지워져요.
is very blunt and rude,
보편성도 가능성도 없는 이야기. 장점 딱히 없음.
and is there to aggravate her.
미래? 175? 땡!
형남 176.
However, as we come to see his perspective on things, we find out that he actually cares a lot for Mireille and actually has feelings for her. And the reasons he likes her is explained to us in like 3 minutes in the beginning of the 7th episode. And the drama has 10 episodes. And the reasons given are quite lackluster in the sense that they are not elaborated on much. I mean, there doesn't need to be like a grand explanation of why someone likes someone in these romance stories, but what's important is for us, the audience, to visibly see it. We see him being kind to her, and then all of a sudden, we get this 3-minute view into his perspective, and we are supposed to accept it. I think what was really lacking were the moments where we could actually see him falling for her. In my opinion, there was literally only one scene where I was like, yes, I get it now. I get why you like her. And it was this baller cap scene. With all that said, at this point, it's episode 7 and we got almost nothing out of him. We know that he's stoic but also considerate, and that he has had a crush on Mireille for quite some time now. After he gets together with Mireille, we find out that he has a lovey-dovey side to him and that he can also feel insecure. And we also know that he is good at his job. If there's an onion, it feels like only the first layer has been peeled, and that's the only layer that we get to see. I don't think I'm getting like a complete picture of him, and it's quite sad because I like him as a character and I would have loved to find more about him. To be honest, I feel like there's more depth to his VR counterpart, Youngil. In the first few minutes that we meet him, we already see the people in his life, the friends that he has made during his travels, which tells you a lot about a character. If you really think about it, we actually don't meet anyone from Kyungnam's life, which is fine, but at the same time, all the people Kyungnam interacts with are people from work, which is why it feels like we only get to see one slice of his life. With Youngil, we get a more complete picture. We find out that he is free-spirited and likes to travel, and we also delve into one of his passions in life, art. We find out that he only draws couples, and he also explains his philosophy behind it.
미래를 의심하지 않고 눈앞에 있는 사랑만 보는 사람들. 그런 사람들만 그래요?
After we find out that Youngil likes to draw, we also find out that Kyungnam does too. But besides telling us that he was a part-time art instructor in college, nothing else is mentioned. I want to know how, when, where, why. I want to know how he got into art. I want to know what he draws, what inspires him, and all that jazz. I think it's quite unfair that we get to find out more about the passions and art of someone who is not real to someone who is real and someone who is the male lead of this drama. Honestly, I don't blame anyone watching this shipping Mile and Youngil or even shipping Mile and Eunho, because with all this virtual dating stuff, I feel like Mile and Kyungnam's romance took a backseat in this drama, which I think also explains why there was no chemistry between them, which is another problem in this drama caused by the focus on the VR. How we see chemistry between a couple also comes to how we see the characters themselves first. I think if we are put off by a character, we are not likely to ship them with the other person. And personally, in the first few episodes, what made it hard to get through was Mile's character. In the first few episodes, there's nothing to grasp about Mile's character. We find out that she is an office worker whose life revolves around that, and that's why she starts using boyfriend on demand. Then we see her have a one-sided rivalry with a coworker, be reluctant to work with the webtoon artist Yeonsung, and going on dates in virtual reality. In all these scenes, her character doesn't really bring me any excitement to continue watching her story. Take for example Cha Mo-hee in Candice Love Be Translated, a K-drama released earlier this year. Right from the first episode, she's a really fun character to watch who is extremely bubbly and extremely kind, which makes us want to continue watching her and continue watching her journey. In contrast, Mile was not fun to watch. Her reasonings for her one-sided rivalry with Kyungnam was over the top, her comedic moments don't land, and while she doesn't like cringy things, she is cringy herself.
죄송합니다.
I got that secondhand embarrassment so bad, I almost quit this drama. Honestly, having a character like that, it made me actually question what Kyungnam saw in her. But we are not here to be mean. Attraction is different for everybody. However, like I mentioned, they did give us a lackluster and short backstory on why Kyungnam likes Mile. He said that it was because of coincidences that he had with her.
하필 내 선물을 네가 뽑은 우연.
Whatever that means. But what I'm missing are moments. Moments where we could visibly see it. I didn't see sparks, we didn't see sparks, and so of course we're not gonna see any chemistry between them. You know, you might be asking that maybe we'll see some chemistry once they get together. But unfortunately, no. In their scenes together at the end, I didn't see any pull. Like, they couldn't convince me that they are two people in love. Take this scene for an example. I don't see or feel the love like I do in this scene. And then, like Kyungnam's short reasoning on liking Mile Mire's reasoning for liking and getting together with Kyungnam was also really rushed. When Kyungnam confesses to Mire, it kinda comes out of the left field for her because she has never even entertained the possibility of him liking her, and she has never seen Kyungnam in any different light than her enemy. And for us audience, we have also never seen Mire see Kyungnam in any different light. And then her ideal man turns out to have the same face as Kyungnam. In one of the moments with Youngil, she keeps getting reminded of Kyungnam, making us believe that the reason she started liking Kyungnam is because of the VR, which I think is a cop-out because I want to see moments. I want to see them liking each other for their own qualities. Like, I want to see Mire fall in love with Kyungnam through his kindness or his personality or whatever, not through some non-existent VR guy that was created for her. And then all of a sudden, Mire realizes that she has liked Kyungnam all along and that it wasn't Youngil that made her realize it.
구영희 씨 때문에 박경남한테 심장이 뛰는 줄 알았는데 그냥 내가 진짜 그 사람 좋아했나 봐요.
Which is like the drama trying to backtrack everything and saying she has liked him all along. Then please give me moments where I could actually see it. All I saw was her dislike of him until he confesses and showed his affection outwardly. And then they get together with Mire's problem not fully explored. We find out that Mire has had a heartbreaking relationship in the past where she got broken up with because her now ex-boyfriend said she changed, and it was a really traumatic breakup for her. Because of this experience, she doesn't really want to enter a relationship again because she's afraid of the relationship changing and it coming to an end. And that is why she's hesitant to start something with Kyungnam after he confesses. She keeps trying to deny him and her feelings for him, which makes sense because she had a traumatic relationship in the past and she doesn't want to repeat that. But then all Kyungnam said was,
나는 서미를 좋아하고 나서 변했는데.
And then all of a sudden, she's open to getting into a relationship with him. All it took was him saying he changed. Anyways, their whole romance, which is the main storyline of this drama, just wasn't it. There was no chemistry, no charm, no moments, lackluster reasonings and resolutions, and thus a love story that lacked depth and meaning. Everything in this drama feels so convoluted. It feels like they didn't know what they wanted to show or say with it, and that they didn't know what they wanted to demonstrate with the main romance. Or they did, but they just didn't know how to put it into a story. Either way, it was a fun watch, but honestly, nothing more than that. Let me know your opinions on this drama if you've watched it, if you disagree or agree with me, and also if the VR technology thing also gave you the creeps at times like it did for me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.